Hello and welcome back to Revision Hub with Jazzy Jane. I'll be continuing to look at the topic family and households, which is an AQA A-level topic. Last video, we looked at divorce, increase within choice, Smart's theory about connectedness, and a variety of different family structures. Before we continue, on paper or flashcards, quickly jot down what you remember from our last video. You will only know this if you revised, rested, tested, and repeated this process. Supposedly, if you do not remember a particular section, please feel free to go back to my previous videos. I have created a playlist to make this process much easier. In this video, I'll be looking at childhood. Before we begin, I'd like to go through some keywords. Socially constructed is something that is made up by society, for example, norms or even values. Historical, it's all about the past that's happened before. Universal is simply different children equal different experiences. They're not always the same. For example, child labour is legal within countries like Pakistan. However, in countries like the UK, child labour is illegal. Childhood is equal to adulthood. Cross-culture simply means different children equal different experiences. Frith looked at children in Topeka and found out that if a child was able to do the same work that an adult could do, then the child was allowed. Examples include if a child was able to pick a brick that an adult could do, that means that child was ready for work and they had to take part in that same task. In the same way, Punch found this in Bolivia. You can use Punch to support Frith within your sociological answer. Cross-culture continued. Malinowski found out that Dash found it amusing if the child was exploring. Who do you think the Dash is? Pause and have a think. Let me reveal, Dash is adults. Malinowski found that adults found it amusing if the child was exploring. So we can see that adults are equal to children and the experiences are quite similar. And this is known as dash. This is a key word. It is on the page. Have a think. Let me reveal. The answer is cross-culture. Prehistoric. Philip Aries is a sociologist, and he found out that in a pre-industrial society, children were mini adults. Simply, children equal adults. Because children dress like adults, children talk like adults, children were much more mature. Within this pre-industrial society, children were neglected. They were known as its. This is quite dehumanizing. There was poor diet and poor sanitation. This led to a high dash. Pause and have a think. Let me reveal. This led to a high IFM, which stands for infant mortality rate. In the exam, if the question asks, in the last 100 years, how has childhood changed? Please do not use Philip Aries' theory, because Philip Aries' theory was several centuries back. It is not within the last 100 years. So please make sure you read the question carefully and then apply this theory in particular. Postman, another sociologist, found that adults equal children and that the difference is blurred. Postman gives the word toxic childhood. For example, adults equal children because of murder. Adults can commit murder, so can children. And case study, which shows an example of this, could be James Bulger's case. If you do not already know about this, look it up on Google. I think that it's very important in some places to apply key studies to the theory. This shows that you are linking it and you have understood it well. Probably this is why I got an A star. Also, I found out that children were exposed to such harmful content on the internet. A criticism, however, could be a social policy. Have a think of the social policy. Once you know the social policy, please comment it on the comment section and I will see if you are right. Another example is makeup. Children apply lots and lots of makeup. This makes them look like adults. As a result, the difference is blurred, and this is called toxic childhood. However, a criticism could be Opie's theory, who argues that childhood is not equal to adulthood. Opie says that there are toys in shops and clothes in shops for children, which shows that children is not equal to adulthood. In the same way, Pilcher found that different children, there's difference. Children have different foods which adults do not have. In the same way, play areas. This shows that childhood is not equal to adulthood. Changes in laws. Changes in laws shows that there is an improvement within childhood. As you can see, I've taken a screenshot from NSPCC's website. It's good to know a few of them. For example, set out when a child could take part in various activities. For example, drinking alcohol. Do you know what the age is? Yes, all of you might know that the age to drink alcohol is 18 and it was raised. So you can use these laws within your sociological answer to support and show how childhood is improving. Childhood experiences cost. It's a big thing. As a result, women are having dash children. Dash stands for less children. As you can see, the Telegraph also notes this. This is a screenshot from the Telegraph website. Susanna argues that women are having less children. Before, women used to have more than 5 children or even more. However, this is reducing and the average has come to 2 or 1 child. However, this is criticized because in 2009, during the period of migration, there was a 2.9 increase within birth and fertility rate, which is huge. Child-centeredness. Child-centeredness is this theory and belief about quality versus quantity. So, parents want to provide their child with quality over quality. For example, they want their child to have toys for education purposes. You can link to Feinstein Douglas's theory, which I'll look at in the education topic later on. More food, more resources. So again, quality versus quantity. Extracurricular activities, for example, archery, for example, swimming, are few examples that can be used to support this theory. Childhood is improving. Aries and Shelter argue that children today are loved and are cared for. You link this to child-centeredness and we can see how they're loved because it's quality over quantity and how children have access to extracurricular activities and toys, which are much more educational. So they are cared for. This view is known as a March progressive view. Childhood improving. Aries and Shelter's March and progressive view can be criticized by the feminists and the Marxists. This is because the feminists and Marxists believe that children may face domestic violence and abuse. More on this will be in my later videos, so stay tuned. Also, 90% of assaults are done by someone the child knows. There are much more statistics. You can have a look at them in the NSPCC website or other sources. This will help to support your answer. And this idea of sexual assault is known as age patriarchy. But there is an increase within choice, right? We learned this in the last video. So what's social policy? Think about it. What social policy causes an increase within choice? Kathy and Ravi argues that 1/4 of 200 women divorced their husbands because they feared that their child would be part of domestic violence and abuse. So all of this, as you can see, is slowly linking to each other. Are all experiences the same? Conflict view believe that different children experience different experiences based on their class, gender, and ethnicity. The conflict view. Hillman argues that boys and girls are treated differently. Boys are allowed to go out at night in the dark, whilst girls are not. Brahmans argues that girls, especially within the Asian culture, are restricted. They're not allowed to go out as often as boys are. As you can see, the gendered experiences differ. Girls have different experiences to boys in terms of childhood. McRobbie looks at the bedroom culture. This is a key term, so take note of it. McRobbie's bedroom culture argues that girls are often at home, they develop their reading skills which help communication, whilst boys are outside developing their active skills. Whilst they are developing the active skills, when they go to education, they find it very difficult because education requires these communication, interpersonal skills which boys do not have. Here we can see that childhood experiences differ in terms of gender, and you can link this to the conflict view. Stefan Wag. Stefan Wag looks at universalism and argues that different children equal different experiences. For example, child labour is illegal in Pakistan, however, it is illegal within the UK. Woodruff. Woodruff is interesting as Woodruff argues that 90% of children in third world countries are low-weighted babies and they have a lack of development that takes place during their years. So Woodruff argues that if a person is of a higher class, so if they are upper class, they will know, they will have the skills, they will have the knowledge for their child to develop to prevent probably a particular disease or illness. For example, vitamin C could be an example. And you can link that to the lower class and you can look at how they are different to each other. Child liberationists. Child liberationists argues that children are controlled by parents, bodies, time, space, and abuse. But how? Let me explain. Children are controlled by space. They are told where to play, whether to play indoor or whether to play outdoor. They are controlled time. They are told when to sleep. They are told when to eat. They are told to do things at a time. For example, sleep before 6. That seems a bit too ridiculous. Bodies is another one. Bodies, what they should wear, how they should wear it, whether they should wear a gender dominant colour or not a gender dominant colour or stereotypical colour, or even abuse. There'll be more in my later videos about domestic violence and abuse, so stay tuned for that. What we have learned, hope you've learned about childhood. In the next video, I'll be looking at the aging population. Till then, remember to revise, rest, test, and repeat the content in this video and all other videos, because the key to revision is to remember everything and do this formula again and again. And do not forget to love Canva, because I made these slides using Canva templates, so it's really good, and download it off them. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Please, I'm having a few lovely comments on the comment section, so please continue to comment. This encourages me to make more videos which will help you within your education. And don't forget to press the bell icon for all latest videos. Till then, stay tuned, stay fit. Thank you so much.